For many people around the world, Princess Leonor is the picture of elegance, discipline, and royal duty. As the heir to the Spanish throne, she is often seen attending ceremonies, delivering speeches, and undergoing military training with remarkable composure. But behind the smiles and carefully planned appearances lies a reality few people truly think about. Because becoming a future queen comes with a price. And while Princess Leonor enjoys privileges that most people can only imagine, there are also sacrifices she has had to make since childhood, sacrifices that have quietly shaped her life in ways that many find deeply emotional. Today, we're taking a closer look at what Princess Leonor has had to give up, and why the weight of her destiny has touched so many hearts. A childhood unlike everyone else's. Most children grow up with the freedom to explore who they are. They make mistakes. They laugh with friends without worrying about cameras. They enjoy ordinary experiences without wondering whether their actions will become headlines. But from the moment Princess Leonor was born, her life was never truly her own. As the eldest daughter of King Felipe VI and Queen Letizia, she entered the world carrying expectations that would eventually lead her to the throne. Long before she understood the meaning of monarchy, the world already had plans for her. While other children dreamed about what they wanted to become, Leonor's future had largely been decided. That reality alone represents one of the greatest sacrifices anyone can make, the surrender of complete freedom over one's own destiny. Growing up under constant observation. Few people understand what it feels like to have every stage of life watched by millions. For Princess Leonor, cameras have followed her since infancy. Her first public appearances, her school years, her family vacations, even moments that would normally remain private became subjects of discussion in newspapers and social media. Imagine learning to navigate adolescence while knowing that every smile, every expression, and every mistake could become international news. Most teenagers are allowed to grow quietly. Leonor has had to grow up in front of the world. And that kind of pressure can be incredibly isolating. Because when everyone is watching, even ordinary moments become extraordinary burdens. Giving up privacy. Perhaps one of the most heartbreaking sacrifices of all is privacy. For many people, privacy is something they barely think about. But for members of royal families, it becomes a luxury. Simple things most young adults enjoy can become complicated. Going out with friends, building relationships, traveling without attention, expressing emotions freely, even personal milestones often become public events. Princess Leonor has had to accept that much of her life belongs not only to herself but also to an institution that has existed for centuries. That responsibility means putting duty above personal comfort. And while many admire the glamour associated with royalty, the loss of privacy is something money and titles cannot replace. Missing out on ordinary experiences. Another emotional reality is that Princess Leonor has had to sacrifice many ordinary experiences that others often take for granted. Most people remember spontaneous adventures with friends, late-night conversations, school events without security concerns, simple moments that become cherished memories. But Leonor's life has always required caution and structure. Security protocols, schedules, royal responsibilities, public expectations. Even friendships can be affected by the unique circumstances surrounding her position. While she has undoubtedly enjoyed wonderful experiences, there is no denying that her path has been very different from that of most young people. And sometimes, being different can feel lonely. Living with immense expectations. Expectations can inspire greatness, but they can also create tremendous pressure. Princess Leonor is not simply expected to succeed. She is expected to represent an entire nation. Every speech she gives is analyzed. Every decision is examined. Every appearance carries symbolic importance. Very few people experience that kind of responsibility before reaching adulthood. Yet Leonor has spent much of her life preparing for a role that demands excellence, discipline, and emotional resilience. There is little room for failure. Little room for rebellion. Little room for simply being young. That weight is something many people never see. Because royal dignity often hides personal struggles. Sacrificing personal freedom. One day, Princess Leonor will become queen. That destiny brings honor, but it also brings limitations. Unlike most people, she cannot easily choose a completely different life. Her responsibilities extend beyond personal desires. The institution she represents requires continuity and commitment. This means many major decisions are influenced by duty, career choices, public roles, future responsibilities. Even aspects of her personal life may carry significance far beyond herself. And while many would envy such a position, others recognize the enormous sacrifice involved. Because true freedom includes the ability to walk away. For Leonor, walking away has never been a simple matter. The demands of military training. In recent years, Princess Leonor has embarked on rigorous military training, following a tradition observed by her father, King Felipe VI. The experience has required discipline, physical endurance, and long periods away from family. Military life is challenging for anyone. Early mornings, strict routines, intense exercises, emotional resilience. For Leonor, these experiences are not merely personal achievements. They are part of preparing for future responsibilities as head of state. While she has approached these duties with determination, they also represent another reminder that her life is shaped by obligations larger than herself. Separation from family. Growing up often means leaving home. But for Princess Leonor, these separations have carried special significance. Her studies abroad and military commitments have meant spending extended periods away from those closest to her. For any young person, being separated from parents and siblings can be difficult. Family provides comfort, stability, and emotional support, yet duty frequently requires Leonor to put responsibilities first. Those sacrifices are not always visible. They rarely make headlines, but they are deeply human experiences that many people can understand. Carrying the weight of history. Few young women inherit not only a title but centuries of history. Princess Leonor knows that one day she will become the face of an institution with immense symbolic importance. That knowledge can be inspiring, but it can also be overwhelming. Every generation brings new challenges, changing expectations, social debates, public scrutiny, and Leonor must prepare to navigate all of it. She carries not only her own dreams but the hopes attached to the future of the monarchy itself. That is a burden most people will never experience. The emotional cost of always being strong. Perhaps the greatest sacrifice is one that cannot be photographed. The emotional cost of constantly appearing composed. People often expect royals to remain calm and dignified no matter what. But beneath the titles and ceremonies is a young woman experiencing the same emotions as everyone else. Stress, uncertainty, pressure, moments of loneliness, the desire for normality, and yet, despite these challenges, she is expected to maintain grace under extraordinary circumstances. That expectation can be exhausting. Because strength does not mean the absence of struggle. It means continuing forward even when the weight feels heavy. The reality behind the crown. It is important to remember that Princess Leonor's life contains both privileges and responsibilities. Her position offers opportunities that many people will never experience. At the same time, it requires sacrifices that most people will never face. The glamorous images seen around the world tell only part of the story. Behind the crown is a young woman who has had to surrender privacy, spontaneity, and many aspects of an ordinary life in order to prepare for an extraordinary future. And perhaps that is what resonates with so many people. Not because her life is perfect, but because it reminds us that every path, no matter how prestigious, comes with its own challenges. Final thoughts. Princess Leonor's journey is still unfolding. She remains a young woman preparing for a future unlike any other. And while history may remember her titles, ceremonies, and responsibilities, many people are also beginning to recognize the personal sacrifices behind those achievements. Because sometimes the things we give up are invisible. Sometimes the greatest burdens are carried quietly. And sometimes, behind the elegance and tradition, there is simply a person trying to balance duty with the desire for a normal life. Perhaps that is the most human part of Princess Leonor's story. And perhaps that is why her sacrifices continue to touch hearts around the world. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss our next deep dive into the lives, struggles, and untold stories